The market's done, everything's closed up, but there are still players standing outside. These guys have names and history in football, and at one point, they were the dream of every big club. Times change, but the flower still smells good, and its scent lingers. I'm not coming at you with long intros. I'm bringing you the most important free agents on the market. Players any club can sign anytime they want. They can add serious skill and depth to the squad. Hit like and subscribe if you haven't yet. If you're an old subscriber, jump right into the details with me. Hakim Ziyech. Imagine the Moroccan magician without a club. Honestly, that's not good for football. True, Hakim messed up with some strange decisions. When he moved to Chelsea, he knew he had no place there, but insisted on staying as long as possible until he almost forgot how to play. Then came the inconsistent performance at Galatasaray, followed by decisions that ruined his reputation, like moving to Qatar's Al Duhail. The fault isn't with Al Duhail or Qatar, of course, but it's on him, still only 30 years old and quietly hinting at retirement with no real ambition left in football. His numbers with Chelsea were 107 games, 14 goals, and 13 assists. At Galatasaray, he played 34 games, scored 8 goals, and had 4 assists. At Al Duhail, he played 13 games, scored once, and assisted once. Sevilla still interested in Ziyech after having to sell a few players due to the financial crisis. He's a name that can bring both mental and technical value. Tomiyasu, a right back you really like. He also plays as a center back, very solid defensively, hard for any winger to get past him. And he's good going forward too, even if his stats aren't the best. The team really needs a player like him, especially since he's only 26, which means you get about 5 more years of reliable play, whether as a starter in a defensive setup or as a substitute adding depth. But to be honest with you, he has one problem: injuries. That's the reason he left Arsenal once his contract ended after 4 years. He played 84 games with them, scored 2 goals, and made 6 assists. The problem is, whenever he played, he was one of the standout players. Signing him is a risky move, but be careful because last season he only played 6 minutes due to a knee injury, and he'll be out until October because of it. However, the season before that he played 30 games, and the one before that 32. The number of minutes isn't that important since he was mostly a substitute, but he was comfortable in those games. The injury isn't chronic like people say. He just needs a team that trusts him. His market value is 18 million euros. Milan is interested, and there are several other teams that need him. Reguilon. He was a big talent, and really had potential. He was just a victim of instability. The guy got promoted with Real Madrid, and had a good season, then they loaned him out to Sevilla. He had an excellent season on loan, so Tottenham bought him for 30 million. He performed decently for them, but after that, he kept getting passed around between Atletico, Manchester United, and Brentford until his contract ran out. Now he's clubless, still only 28. Last season with Brentford, he played 16 games and made 4 assists. This guy's got something to offer on the pitch and still has a lot of potential. He can be a solid part of any coach's lineup and can comfortably start for some teams. Guess which team that might be? Josh Brownhill. If you follow the English Premier League, you definitely know him well. He's been playing since the Alex Ferguson days. He's only 29, and he can still perform at a top level for a few more seasons. He's a midfielder you'd like, plays as a defensive mid, a central pivot, and sometimes as a playmaker. He's really strong physically and has a lot of experience in England, especially with Burnley, where he was one of the key players and leaders before his contract ended when they got promoted this season. Now he's looking for a new challenge elsewhere. His market value is 14 million euros, making him the second highest valued free agent in the world. He'd fit perfectly in European midfields. Adam Wanis, another wasted Arab talent. He messed up his own career with bad decisions. He started off strong, training at a top academy in France, then moved to Napoli in 2017 when he was just 20. But he wasn't willing to be patient and decided to bounce around aimlessly between several Italian clubs like Cagliari and others. Of course, his performance was inconsistent and unstable, which led to his departure from Napoli to Lille in France, then to Al Sadd in Qatar, and after that, no real club. He's barely 28 now, plays as a winger, second striker, and playmaker, and honestly he has great technical skills. But so far, no club is really interested because he never stood out at any one team. His career has just been all over the place. Lorenzo Insigne. He's like football heaven, no one can forget that. He was absolutely magical there, a true legend in Napoli even today. At one point, his market value hit 75 million euros back in 2018, which was huge, especially since the team wasn't even competing for much at that time and he was carrying the whole squad. Honestly, he hurt his career by turning down a lot of offers out of loyalty to Napoli, until he finally decided to leave for a bigger paycheck to secure his future. Because the highest paid player in Napoli was only making 4 million euros a season. He spent 10 years at Al Napoli, then moved to Toronto FC in Canada where he played for 3 years. After that, he decided to return to Europe with Napoli. He contributed to 217 goals in 434 matches, which is about 0.5 goals per game. Right now, he's in talks with several Italian clubs, and they're all welcoming him as an experienced player. He's still only 34, and in Italy, football really starts after 35. Riccardo Dorb's time in Rome was going well until Mourinho showed up and basically ended it. The Portuguese coach got into a big conflict with him because he criticized Mourinho after a Roma loss, calling him lazy. The disagreement led to the player being frozen out and eventually forced to leave the team. Mourinho made that clear. He didn't have a spot on the team, and there was no way he'd play while being the coach. That's when Roma ended his contract, and the player moved on and signed with Eindhoven for a season. He played 20 games, assisted 2 goals, and showed solid skills. Now he's 30 and can still come off the bench for several European teams that have issues in that position, whether it's Juve, Milan, or some English or German clubs. The main thing is to keep him away from Mourinho, and that's it. So, that's the list. Tell us who the most important player is and who you'd like to see on your team. Looking forward to your answers in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, so you can get all the latest updates. Peace out, my friend.